We're going to be showing off a lot more about Path of Exile 2 as we approach its beta.
Thanks,
but in
John.
the meantime, we've got a Path of Exile 1 expansion coming out next week.
Hey.
I'm going to hand over to Mark, also known as Neon, to show you what's in store for PoE 1.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Let's go.
Well,
Affliction.
let's just go ahead and get straight on into it. Here's the trailer for Path of Exile Affliction.
Something moves in the mists. Something sinister. Thorn. Rot. Plague. And claw. The affliction spreads. It hungers for more. Tread lightly in the wildwood,
Okay.
which shifts and bites.
Seeing it.
Accept our help, the ancient power of the Asmiri.
What is...
Beware the spirits that yearn for freedom,
Are those new ascendancies, bro?
and the heart of evil that waits in the dark.
Warden of the Magi? Warlock of the Mist?
Ready yourself.
The return of
I will
Ultimatum.
be waiting.
Affliction League. December 8th. 1 week. Log in.
In the Affliction League, you will encounter sacred wisps, which beckon you to enter overgrown passageways that lead to the Viridian Wildwood.
Ooh, okay. Oh, now
A
you're in
vile
the woods.
affliction has covered this forest with a foreboding darkness.
Yes.
You will need to uncover the forest mysteries to put a stop to the source of the affliction.
Okay.
As you approach the darkness, the wisps burn away its affliction. Make sure you tread carefully, because they only have a limited amount of power. But be warned, the darkness is full of cursed monsters that emerge to kill you.
So your little ring of light can only take you
As you
so
explore,
far.
you might see other types of wisps trapped inside the darkness. The Wildwood is trying to guide you towards clues about its affliction. Follow the trails of wisps by collecting them, and you may uncover many different secrets. New characters to find, shrines, boss battles, and all kinds of new encounters are lurking in the forest just waiting for you to discover them. There are many rewards to earn for those brave enough to seek them.
Oh, dude, let's go.
When the sacred
Poggers.
wisps run out of energy, they will return you back to where you came from.
Uh-oh.
Any other types of wisps you have collected will return with you to Rayclast. These wisps, having been saved from the affliction, disperse into the environment and inhabit randomly chosen monsters in the area, increasing their power and also their rewards. The different types of wisps have different effects on monsters, and sometimes more than one type will inhabit a single monster, making the fight even harder and even more rewarding. If this happens to a boss, you could be in for a tough fight, but if you can overcome it, your efforts will not be in vain.
So you want to kill
Primal
everything
wisps
except the
grant an
boss
item rarity bonus to inhabited
and
monsters.
then kill the boss.
Wild wisps grant an item quantity bonus, and vivid wisps cause them to drop currency items. If a monster gets all three types, they'll drop more items of a higher rarity and a lot of currency.
Divine.
While exploring the Wildwood, you might find some of the last few Asmiri
I'm
wanderers who
excited.
have managed to survive in the forest since it was cursed.
Hi.
Each of them have different survival specializations, and they are willing to teach you if you agree to help them defeat the source of the affliction, the King in the Mists. Choose which of the Asmiri that you will complete quests for to unlock one of 3 new Ascendancy classes, which you can have in addition to your regular Ascendancy class.
Secondary
Up
ascendancies?
to 8 points for these classes are unlocked as you complete more quests for the Asmiri you are training under. The Warden of Eves can teach you to become a Warden of the Magi, a powerful class that takes advantage of wilderness knowledge. A Warden of the Magi can
Apply
learn to use
tinctures?
tinctures which coat their weapon, granting various powerful effects.
Wisp collection.
You can equip tinctures in your flask slots and toggle them on and off at will. You can only have one enabled at a time, but the effects are quite conditional, so you may want to have more than one equipped and swap between them during combat.
Look, it's dripping from
For
his
example,
weapon.
equip the Ironwood Tincture to gain the benefit of always stunning enemies on full life.
Always stunning enemies?
Tinctures can also get random mods. This one in particular adds stacks of wither to targets on full life and steals frenzy charges on hit, which makes it great as an initiator.
That's good.
When you are fighting rare monsters
Good
or
opener.
finishing off tough bosses, you will want to swap to the Oak Branch Tincture, which grants Culling Strike, increased damage against enemies on low life, and has a chance to steal a mod from rare enemies you kill. You can buy
And
more
Hunter,
tinctures
baby.
from the Warden of Eves using Primal
Hunter
Wisps when you
tincture,
find
log
her in the
in.
forest, so keep an eye out for her. As a Warden of the Magi gains more Ascendancy points, they gain access to more skills that let them further specialize in tinctures. For example, Nature's Concoction allows you to invest in having your tinctures enhance your flasks.
Gain 3 charges when you hit.
This Ascendancy skill makes it important to think about which slots your tinctures are placed in, and what flasks they are adjacent to. You will have better uptime on those flasks, and they'll be stronger as a result. But there are plenty more skills to choose, even if you don't want to engage with tinctures.
That's gonna be good
For example,
for the freaking
another new
Archer
ability to unlock is
Pathfinder build.
Bark Skin.
Grants level 20.
It's a reservation skill that causes bark to grow all over your body, increasing armor. As you take damage, the bark falls off, increasing your evasion. Over time, the bark will grow back, removing the evasion bonus but increasing your armor again.
Oh.
The Breaker of Oaths can teach you to become a Warlock of the Mists,
Here we go.
an Ascendancy class specializing in the darker arts of the Izmir.
Yes! So the first one's for like a Pathfinder, like a bow build.
One powerful ability you can choose is Blood Hunt, which grants an active skill called Ravenous. This skill lets you see what type a monster is under its life bar, whether it is a demon, beast, undead, construct, or humanoid. Consuming a corpse with this skill gives a buff to damage against that type of monster, and reduces damage taken by it. You can only have one type active at a time, so it's a good idea to choose wisely for the area that you are in.
Yeah.
Some bosses, like the Maven, are eldritch in nature and don't conform to the regular corpses that you have access to. But don't worry. The Breaker of Oaths has a shop where you can trade wild wisps for corpses that you can place on the ground wherever you are.
That's cool! So you can make yourself
Buy
strong
an eldritch
against the
corpse
bosses?
and you will be able to get the bonus while fighting eldritch entities like the Maven. You may notice that most of the corpses he sells are not monsters you normally encounter. You might want to try turning some of these corpses into specters, to take advantage of some of the unique abilities that these monsters have. The
SRS
Warlock
build,
of the
log
Mists gets
in.
access to many other abilities.
Holy
For example,
hell.
there is a trio of curses that you can pick from. One of these curses targets your minions, giving them life degen and making them explode for massive damage when they are near death. One of them prevents enemies from dealing damage for the latter portion of its duration, which is quite powerful against bosses. This curse creates the interesting build decision of whether or not you should increase curse duration or reduce it. The final curse is a mark that causes enemy phantasms to be spawned when you hit the marked enemy.
Ooh.
These phantasms aren't on your side, so they work well with on-hit and on-kill trigger effects, for example.
They're not on your side.
The Primal Huntress can teach you to become a Wildwood Primalist.
Okay.
Unlike the other new ascendancies, the Primal Huntress lets you customize your tree. You do this with charms that you can buy from the Primal Huntress for Vivid Wisps. Charms have randomly generated mods, which give stats from regular Ascendancy classes, allowing you to create your own hybrid Ascendancy class. Charms are magic items that are aligned with different attributes.
Are
So
they
for
sellable?
example,
They are
this
sellable.
Ursine charm is strength aligned, and has gotten the melee hits have a chance to fortify stat from the champion, and the ability to stop your movement speed going below base from the Juggernaut. This interlined Corvine charm lets you get the stat that makes your consecrated ground effects linger from the Inquisitor, and the effect that makes cursed enemies explode from the Occultist. Some of the combination of mods that you might find for sale on charms can be extremely powerful, so keep a lookout for the Primal Huntress's shop even if you are not playing as a Primalist.
A double charge.
As a
one.
Primalist, you also get access to a few other interesting abilities.
All of
Use
the
war
wolf.
cries next to corpses and they have a chance to drop an extra item. It opens nearby chests too. The Primalist also gets access to a small extra backpack, just in case you find yourself needing to cart more items to town during your map runs.
You get a little small loot backpack.
If you are unhappy with the class you picked, or you just happen to find a really great item for another one of the classes, you are able to change which class you are using next time you find one of the Azmiri Wanderers. Just remember that you will have to do their quests in order to gain the ascendancy points for that class. These quests will lead you towards the ultimate goal of the Azmiri.
Spin to win.
Finding the King in the Mists, defeating him, and cleansing the forest of its affliction.
I want to
once
do a
and for all.
spin to win build.
There are new uniques to find, rewards to claim, and new ascendancy classes to master in the Affliction League. Now that we've covered what's in the League, let's talk about some of the changes you can expect to the core game in 3.23.
Ultimatum is coming back.
For a start, Ultimatum is finally going core. When talking to players at ExileCon, it was the #1 feature that people requested. When playing through in-game maps, you may sometimes encounter the Trial Master,
Yes.
who offers you a choice to undertake a deadly Val trial in exchange for great rewards. If you defeat the trial, he offers to go double or nothing with you. Do you take the risk and go for an even better reward? Or do you take the winnings you have already earned off the table and go home? We've done a full rebalance of Ultimatum and have added many new mods and rewards, including both new and reworked uniques. The base number of rounds for an Ultimatum trial is now always 10, with a chance to spawn the Trial Master boss fight on the 10th round, if you are able to make it that far. As part of 3.23, we have also removed Metamorph from the game. All the Catalyst rewards from Metamorph have now been moved to be rewards for Ultimatum. We have also added a new Val-themed Catalyst that works on corrupted items.
Metamorph
As
is
is
no
normal
longer
for
here?
most content that gets added to endgame, we have introduced new Ultimatum passive skills to the Atlas tree.
Yeah, and it's gotten a whole fucking rework.
One great example is the Keystone Grueling Gauntlet. It makes ultimatums last 3 extra rounds, but you cannot choose the modifiers, and it prevents the final Trial Master boss fight from spawning.
Oh, wow.
The level of challenge becomes extreme during the last 3 rounds, and not being able
That's
to choose the
if you're trying to
modifiers
get a good
makes
item?
it even harder. But the rewards are insane, and for those with very high-end characters, it might be a bet worth making. There are lots of other Atlas passive skills you can pick from for Ultimatum, so choose wisely.
Read them up.
Now, it's time to talk about one of the largest metagame changes we've ever made. There were 3 systems in Path of Exile that were all trying to subtly modify the behavior of skills.
Uh-oh.
These were alternate quality gems, Labyrinth Helmet enchants, and unique threshold jewels. We've combined all of these together to create a new system called Transfigured Gems that allows us to fully achieve the goal of these 3 systems and then some. Transfigured Gems are alternative versions of existing skill gems that have different functionality and balance from their regular versions. We have added a huge number of these with interesting variations that drastically change how existing skills play.
What?
For example, Frostbomb of Instability.
Creates a crystal.
It changes it from a cooldown skill that you can cast occasionally for a large explosion into a skill that you can cast continuously but deals less damage and doesn't apply cold exposure. It changes the role of Frostbomb from a utility skill into a main damaging skill. Another example is Detonate Dead of Scavenging. You can't use it on corpses that were created by Desecrate or Unearth, but in exchange it does a whole lot more damage. You won't be able to use it as your main reliable source of damage, but it's a great skill to use as a 4-link utility to get some extreme burst damage.
Damn.
Raise Zombie of Falling. Instead of raising a zombie from a corpse, you summon them from mid-air. They fall to their death, dealing AoE damage where they land. While this sounds like a physical damage version of Firestorm, you should consider that it scales with minion damage and also triggers on-death minion effects. Blight of Contagion. This version of Blight is now spread by Contagion, so you can use it as part of your Essence Drain build. We have a huge number of these. Transfigure Firestorm into Firestorm with Meteors, Transfigure Blade Trap into Blade Trap of Greatswords, Transfigure Barrage into Barrage of Volley Fire, and so on. There is a lot to experiment with, and we look forward to seeing what builds you can come up with.
Oh, this league is
But how
gonna
do you
be
get
so
Transfigured
lit.
Gems? The Divine Font at the end of the Eternal Labyrinth has been changed to a gem crafting device that can modify your skill and support gems in a lot of new ways. One of the options you can now choose is to turn a skill gem into one of 3 Transfigured Gems. But that isn't all the Divine Font can do. It has a lot of other gem crafting options you can use. For example, you can add quality to gems, add experience to gems, sacrifice a gem for 1 or more treasure keys to open Azaro's chests, and you can even exchange support gems for exceptional support gems like Empower or Enlighten. These are just some of the options you'll find the Divine Font is now capable of.
What?
In order to replace the rewards in Heist that previously gave alternate quality gems, we have done a rebalance of the rewards of Heist as well. Experimented base types have been rebalanced. New replica uniques have been added and old ones changed, and we have increased the amount of currency from display cases as well. On top of this, we have gone through and buffed the quality stats on most damage-dealing skills.
Rolling magma.
In most cases, they will be significantly more powerful than before, and also more interesting.
Tornado shot fires 3
Overall,
projectiles.
this is one of the largest metagame shifts that we've ever done. There are so many crazy new skill combinations to plan around, so we expect to see some really interesting
we're
new
gonna do a
builds.
rolling magma build this season.
Next up, I'd like to hand back over to Chris to talk about the new supporter packs.
Huge.
At this point,
Alright.
we'd usually talk about the League supporter packs.
We're
doing things a bit differently this year. Rather than releasing League supporter packs today and then our annual core packs 2 weeks later, we've combined it all together into a strong set of core supporter packs that will be
Huge.
released alongside Path of Exile Affliction next week.
Okay.
The series contains 5 packs, each with its full value in
The
points and a collection
surfboard?
of exclusive cosmetic microtransactions. The higher packs contain physical merchandise. We'll unveil the full details of each of the packs at release next week, but in the meantime, here's a sneak peek of some of their exclusive cosmetic microtransactions. These packs will be available for purchase when Path of Exile Affliction launches on the 8th of December. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Hey, thanks, man. This is looking good. I'm so excited.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post Path of Exile Affliction's full patch notes. With the release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for Affliction's release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and this season's Kyrix Vault Pass. Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to exploring the Viridian Wildwood with you next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
So excited. Oh, we're gonna be playing Path of Exile this entire week, pretty much. Oh, I'm so excited. Ah! All right, we're gonna try to finish all our season goals. We gotta try to get all of these rewards, get this Beastmaster armor. That's #1 priority this week. We gotta turn and burn, baby. We gotta turn and burn.